Hello students, today we're going to work on uploading our PNGs into WeVideo so that we can edit them to create our GIF. The first thing you're going to need to do is go to wevideo.com. Again, that's wevideo.com. And you're going to click Login with Google. Now, it's probably going to ask you to authorize, just click Allow. And hopefully it should just take you right into WeVideo from there. When you're at your dashboard, you're going to create a new GIF up at the top. So you just click this button and it's going to ask you to title it or save it into a project. So you can just call it About Me GIF and then click Start Editing. Now, you're not going to see any of this stuff up here. This should probably be blank for you guys. I just have a lot of content that I've already created. And basically, this is where it stores anything you've already uploaded. So you won't be seeing anything there. What you're going to do, though, is click on Import. And then this is where it comes in handy. Hopefully, you saved your PNGs in Google Drive. So you'll just click on Drive. And then you're going to go to your Technology folder, your About Me Google Slide folder, and then click on your Slides folder. Now, I'm going to actually change the view of this, of my pictures, because it makes it easier to download. So I do that by clicking up here. So this little toggle allows you to go from the image view to the list view. And you'll see that my slides are in order, starting at the bottom, of course. This part doesn't really matter because you're going to be dragging and dropping into your editing area. So in order to select your slides, what you do is you click on the top slide, hold the Shift key down, and then go to the very bottom and click on the bottom one. And that will select all of your slides. Again, you click on the top slide, scroll down to the bottom, hold the Shift key down, and then select your final slide and click Select. So now that will put all of your slides into your media area so that you can begin dragging and dropping them down below and start editing your timeframes. Now I just want to show you a few things about WeVideo as we get into organizing our slides. Down here at the bottom, there's a slider. What this does is it changes your timing up here. Now, because we selected GIF, it automatically sets your timing to seconds. Whereas if you're working in video, it's actually set to minutes. And what's great is you can actually change this slider, which you'll probably see me do as I'm editing, so that you're able to kind of spread out your clips more, and that makes it easier to edit. Like you can add transitions, you can add in sounds, so that it's aligning with your clips. You can trim things down easier that way. So I just wanted to point out this feature here. Additionally, on the bottom, there's a slider. So this is really important, especially in working with videos, because as your videos get longer and longer, you have to be able to scroll kind of back and forth. So I just wanted to point those things out, as well as over here on the left-hand side, you'll see there's different video tracks. And if you actually scroll down, there's you can add in audio tracks as well. So this is where you can do like voiceover work, or you can add in a song. You can actually hide these if you don't need them by clicking on the three dots and just selecting Hide Track. So now what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to start pulling in my slides so that I can start organizing them and fixing the timing. So all you do is you start with your first slide. You go drag it down to the video 1 section. And then, of course, that's pretty long. We don't need it to be 4 seconds or 5 seconds. So what you do is you put your mouse over the line on the far right-hand side so that you get the double-sided arrow. And you're going to bring this down to about 1 second. And again, if you use this slider bar here, you can actually open this up so that it actually breaks it down by the second. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so I'm going to make this about a second, and we'll see how that looks in just a moment. And I'm going to continue doing that with each of my slides. And then we'll test it out to make sure it's looking okay. So then you can drag over your blue bar. You can click the space key to play. Now that's a little bit too slow, right? That's why we're testing things out. So I'm going to actually bring this down to probably just under half of a second, and we'll see if that looks any better. Just clicking on the far right line, dragging it over, click play. That's better, but it's still kind of slow, so I'm actually going to make it even faster, and we'll see how that looks. Oops. Drag over my blue bar, click play, that's better. Okay, so this is what I'm going to aim for on the rest of mine. So basically you're just going to go through and keep editing these down one by one. And then of course keep kind of testing it out. Now, when we get to our slides that have words and more pictures than, like if you have more than one or two, you're going to want to actually make them a little bit longer, because that way it gives the viewer time to kind of adjust and actually see what is on the slide. So I'm going to kind of test this out with my first one. It has quite a few pictures, maybe a little bit too long, so probably around like here. I can probably shrink it down just a little bit more. I feel like that's pretty good. And then I'll just continue editing. Now we're going to talk about getting fancy for those of you who want to take it to the next level. If you would like to add audio, like some music, if you go over here, I don't currently have an audio track, so to add it, I just click the plus button, click audio, and add track, so then it adds it underneath. So what you can do is, if you go back to the beginning, there are some pre-loaded songs that you can basically just download. So this one I used in my previous video, or in this video, I guess. So some things to note is, if you kind of use your slider a little bit to spread things out, you'll see this dot and this blue line on the top. If you want the music to kind of come in, like, so that's not loud right away, you can just click on the blue line to create these dots. And then basically what you can do is it will increase the volume as your GIF is starting. And then to crop the song, because it goes on forever, right? I'm going to actually zoom back out here. You just go to the end, just like you would your images, and you drag it over. Now it's kind of zoomed out too far, so I can't see where it ends there. So I'm going to readjust that by using my slider. And now I can very easily like crop it down. And then usually you want to kind of transition your song so that the sound goes down a little bit in volume as you're kind of wrapping up something. So we'll see what this looks like. Awesome. So inspiring. You have to be careful when you're using audio, because you obviously have to be cognizant of whether or not songs are copyrighted. So just remember that Creative Commons piece that we talked about previously. But you can actually upload songs as well. If you want to narrate, you can do that. You may not want to do this with a GIF, of course, but when we get in, if you get into like making videos, you can actually create narrations, and it basically looks the same. It creates an audio file down below that you can very easily edit like you would a typical clip. Some other things students did last quarter is they used title pages, or you can also do transitions. I feel like transitions aren't as needed with GIFs just because they move so quickly and you already kind of created these artificial transitions with those blank slides. But you can take a peek up at the top here. Some students actually added some slides with backgrounds, so feel free to peruse those and add anything you would like to add. The final thing to note is you should probably look at your length. We want to kind of keep your GIF under 20 seconds. So 8 to 20 seconds is the preferred length just because you don't want it to go on forever. So you can see like mine's 10 seconds long. And so that's about the right length. From here, we need to actually wrap this up by clicking finish up at the top right hand side, because we are going to download this so that we can submit it to Canvas for our grade. So I'm going to call this About Me GIF. Now I want to make sure GIF is selected, and I'm going to click large. And I would recommend that you save it to Google Drive, because then you can put it in that handy folder you created. And then you click export. And then you wait patiently while it's doing its thing. Now, one of the things about WeVideo is it doesn't allow you to select the folder you want to save to. It just saves your stuff to Drive. So I just put in About Me GIF in my search bar at the top, and here is my assignment. So now I'm going to actually just drag it into my folder so I know where to find it. So I can drag it over to the left to my Drive until this opens up. I go to Technology 2020 and hover over it until that opens. And then I'm just going to throw it in my About Me Google slide folder. From there, I'm going to go to Canvas, into modules, and you'll see this 1.15 turn an About Me GIF. And this is where you can submit your assignment. When you click submit, this will open up down below. And this is where you can link it to your Google Drive assignment where you have it saved. That's it for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. I can't wait to see all of your awesome work as I'm grading these.